Alright, so there's been a lot of talk about the Culling new release, and it's bad. It's really bad. And I figured I would talk about my thoughts on the gaming industry in general. My overall view is that it's just becoming a cash grab. All people want is the money. That's really all companies care about, or at least most companies, from what I've seen and the patterns they've done. Take this company. It starts with an X that makes the Calling series. First Calling was a pretty big success. Or, well, not a big. It was a success. It's a battle royale game like H1Z1 or PUBG. But it only used like melee weapons, so it had its own spin on it. Whatever, and it did okay. It wasn't like Fortnite, but it also didn't crap like its successors. The Calling 2 was basically a copy clone of PUBG, except worse, and it only had like 200 players playing at one time. It had only got 8 matches in its entire lifespan. After 19 hours, there was one person playing it, and there was a streamer and YouTuber I like to watch. His name was Moist Critical, or it still is. Go check him out. He actually did make a video on this, so if you do want just something about the Calling too, go watch his video. It's actually really good. I do recommend. The only thing about his videos, he didn't touch up on the grand scheme of how this fits, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. Uh, so the Calling 2 failed, so they tried to release the Calling Origins, which had a free-to-play aspect to it. I had it on my Xbox. I never once played it. Apparently it sucked, and no one played the game. Or not very many people. It even released on the Xbox, so I mean, it had people who are like, "Oh, I want to look for a game to play, a new game," and it had those people too on the Xbox. Or I think it released on PS4. Not too sure. Now they're gonna come out with a new Culling game. Basically, what it is, I don't even know. You buy the game for $5, and then you can play a free, right, a free game every single day. One. And if you want to play more, you have to pay nine, or no, $1, I think. $1 is three times, a three-time play. Like $3, maybe $4 is like five, or maybe 10, and then a 20 is like six. It's something around there, but you can get like these passes, I guess. So it's like buying a game, but needing Xbox Live to play it. Except it's not as useful as Xbox Live, and it is way overpriced, and the game's not going to do that well, so it's just going to suck. Basically, what it is, and that just got me thinking, what's wrong with video games? What's wrong with it? And there's a lot wrong with video games, and I think we should start with a culprit of this doing this to just try to get money, because I think that's the whole point of the culling is they have all these paywalls, so you give them money. Honestly, that's what it is. I think they're just gonna take the Culling 2, slap a new logo on it, and then yeah, add paywalls to it. The EA is one of the culprits of this. They actually were in a lawsuit about gambling because they had these loot crates in this game, which I mean they didn't lose it, but it made a lot of sense. In Star Wars Battlefront, a really popular game, a lot of people. The heck is that? No, that. So it's over here. I thought it was a bug, and I was about to freak out. But Star Wars Battlefront 2, I've played it. But apparently, someone made the accusation, and it's actually true, that you need to put in so many hours in the game, like a ridiculous amount of hours. Like streamers and people who are hardcore fans of the game don't even play that much to unlock everything in the game, or you can buy it for a few $100. And I don't know if you can see if that's an issue or not, but instead of having hours spent in a game, you have money spent, and they're on a same scale. That's an issue, and it's called pay to win. Yeah, honestly, for you to get better stuff and better equipment, or arguably better equipment, and you have to buy it, unless it's not a DLC, it's pretty crap. It's pretty scummy. it does promote gambling because I know some games have their like loot crates and stuff, and you want to get something good, so you keep buying more and more and more. I can promote that tendency or behavior, but I don't think they should have lost that case, or I don't think they did. It doesn't really matter. But that brings me to one of the most scummiest thing EA's done, and that's the Anthem game. If you're not familiar, it's a game where you're basically Tony Stark in a different planet under a post-apocalyptic wasteland or something, and you kill a bunch of things in a variety or four different suits of armor. Pretty dang cool concept for a game. I'm not gonna lie, I would play it. But what they did is they released a beta. Only like an hour or two of the beta was actually playable because there were just so many bugs. Dialogue didn't work. You can't even play the game because they would send you on missions and you don't know what you're supposed to do because the sprites would just stand there like this, and then they would expect you to know what to do. So or whatever. Everyone was crapping on Reddit and Twitter like, "Oh, this game's gonna suck," and then the die-hard fans of EA are like, "No, no, 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 no. You can't judge a game by its beta. You know, it's going to be better. You know, they just needed some money, which they didn't. They just wanted to make more profit. And so when the real game released, arguably it was worse. You couldn't play through it because there were so many bugs in it that they never fixed because they didn't care. But instead of, if you bought the beta for $30, you had to pay $60 to get the new game. Yeah, your beta didn't matter. Normally betas are almost like an investment. So you have your little thing, you pay $30, and no matter how big that company or how big that thing goes, you only paid $30. So it could be a $90 value of a game. You paid $30 for it. Great. It's normally how it is, and that's how it should be because it's so the game company can make their game better. What the point of a beta is. But no, not this game. They just wanted money. And I think a lot of people just want money. And it's sad. Because, like, some companies need it. Like, DayZ. Like, whoever made DayZ, they needed money for the game. So they released it, and it was on beta for 8 years. And I think it just released recently. But, yeah, I bought the game for, like, $17. I now have a $60 game. I like the game. It was fun. I mean, I don't think much has changed since the beta. I just think they've added a lot of things and they've actually fixed the game so it's more playable. Great. Graphics are better. It's optimized. Yeah, they've done work to the game and it was worth my $17 to get the game at the state it was and at the state it is now. I think it's fine. I mean, a $60 game, I paid $17 for it because they got it in beta and they worked on it. It was a long time to work on it, but they worked on it. Anthem, you know, they said they did. They probably didn't. Escape from Tarkov is a really big game. Dr. Lupo plays it. Pastili plays it. It's a pretty popular game. It's still in beta, but they add updates like every week, like huge updates every month. Like they're adding stuff to the game, but they want to get it to the state where it is so good that they feel like they can release it, and that's how a game should be. It shouldn't be like, oh, I need money oh so desperately, or oh, I want to make so much of a bigger profit, I'm just going to release a beta, even though we don't need to. And I think that's kind of what's wrong with the gaming industry. And I mean, indie games, I understand, like smaller companies, they need it, but EA, think about how much funding these games have to advertise and all this other stuff. I saw Anthem in YouTube ads everywhere. So it's not like it was so needed. They just wanted money. Yeah. Well, thank you for listening to my TED Talk. It went a little longer than I wanted it to, but whatever, there you get what you get. Y'all know my outro throughout this whole quarantine thing. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.